All right, good evening and welcome back to the Football Tribe UG channel. Robert Kesakos is your usual suspect. Welcome back to yet another live broadcast on your favorite football updates channel. It's a pleasure to be back on this beautiful on this beautiful night of the UEFA Champions League, where we will be following, or we are following, games between Arsenal and Olympiacos, while the other game is between Barcelona and PSG. Arsenal do it by goal to nil thanks to that first half goal from Gabriel Martinelli, while PSG uh, are still sharing the spoils, or it's still one apiece between PSG and Barcelona. PSG having to come from that goal down, thanks to Ferran Torres, who had scored to give Barcelona the lead. So there is a goal check in the Arsenal Olympiacos game. Uh-oh. We're into the 70th minute of nearly almost all games, 71 minutes for Borussia Dortmund against Athletic Bilbao. So, but yeah, while Arsenal have been very, very dominant in their performance, are very forward-thinking and very attacking in numbers, created lots of chances. Victor Gyökeres has been largely quiet in the second half. He's been kept quiet. They haven't created as much as they did in the first half, although the chances they've also created during the second half have been squandered. One fell to Leandro Trossard. So yeah, it's been that kind of game really. So we'll be following the updates from that and more. Of course, the different games on this second or match day 2 of the UEFA Champions League. We know games were played yesterday, some big ones lost, including Liverpool losing by a goal to nil against Galatasaray. So Arsenal have done everything right, but against the run of play could have conceded. Really, there were some two brilliant chances they conceded in the first half. One for which David Raya was forced into a brilliant save. Here in the second half, Olympiacos had restored parity, but that goal was ruled out by VAR for an offside. So yeah, it is still very, very contentious. Then in the first game, Union sent Gilosi were beaten up against by Newcastle by 4 goals to nil. Anthony Gordon scoring 2 penalties in that one to ensure that Newcastle get winning. Yes, LFC, hi, how are you doing? I hope you're doing okay. It's a pleasure seeing you around. We are following games from the UEFA Champions League as we speak. Arsenal retain their 1-0 lead against Olympiacos, while Barcelona and PSG is still one apiece. Very, very entertaining game, by the way, between Barcelona and PSG. Pretty much what we did expect. If we are being honest, the equalizer was scored by Mayuru, that equalizer for PSG. A brilliant goal. They built the ball from out of the back and onto the Barcelona side. Yeah. So those are the games that we are following up on. But Arsenal are yet to utilize all their dominancy to their advantage to double their lead, including some of the changes they've made, bringing on Uran Timber for Ben White, bringing on Declan Rice for Mikel Merino, I think to maybe add some sort of more running legs to that midfield. But if I were Mikel Arteta, I think I'll be swapping out Martin Zubimendi at this moment for Ebeleche Eze to bring more attacking threat to that side and then push Declan Rice to play further deeper in that midfield. So that's what I will be looking at. But yeah, Arsenal retain a 61% ball possession compared to 39% of Olympiacos. Uh-oh. Far from it, far from it. I thought Arsenal had another brilliant chance here to double their lead. Barcelona have made changes of their own. Robert Lewandowski has come on. For those of you, in case you catch my words behind what you're seeing, please bear in mind that my bandwidth may put me about 60 seconds or slightly less, thereabouts, behind. So that is usually the case. So, do you think Arsenal will win? Uh, the first half showed, if the first half was anything to go by, you'd think that they were going to cruise to a comfortable victory, and yet that hasn't been the case. Really. Indeed, he's looking to make two substitutions, Bukayo Saka and Beleche Eze. Those set to be brought on. I think he's noticed what we've noticed, that while they've been dominant, they are conceding many chances on the opposite side, partly because maybe they have some tired legs in their own offense, so they are not creating as much as you would sort of want them to have on the other end, really. Perhaps that's the case for which we are witnessing. Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard off, so that means you have Saka to the right wing and you have Eze to the left, in that sort of setup. I do not know whether this is the night we'll get the chance to see, whether this is the night we'll get the chance to see Max Dorman make his UEFA Champions League debut, to possibly become the youngest player to feature in the UEFA Champions League. There was a clash between David Raya and Gabriel Magalhaes, which has led to Gabriel needing treatment. And remember, Arsenal have only one substitution left. Yes, so it looks like Christian Mosquera could be coming on for Gabriel. Yep. Christian Mosquera comes on. That means tonight won't be the night. We get to see Ethan Wanieri. It won't be the night we get to see Max Dorman. So, yeah. I mean, beautiful stuff. Meanwhile, Manchester City are also leading by 2-1 against AC Monaco. Those goals for Manchester City scored by Brad Erling Haaland with a brace on the night. An assist from Joshko Gvardiol and Nico O'Reilly, while Teze was the goal scorer for AC Monaco. Okay, this is interesting. I was watching a podcast today, and somebody, I don't remember what the podcast was, but somebody wished for the day he would get to see Beleche Eze on one side, Kasaka on another, Martin Odegaard behind in that sort of number 10 wall, and then Victor Gyökeres in front. And it's happened today. With these few minutes left to play, that's the kind of system they have. Kasaka to the right, Eze to the left, Gyökeres is still on, and then Martin Odegaard is still in that midfield. He's still in that midfield. So, yeah, looks like their wish came sooner than they had hoped for. Let's hope the result will be or the expectations they have for that very combination will be met in the same sense. Arsenal have been a bit vulnerable to the sort of counterattack. There was a moment Martin Zubimendi had to have a pull on is it Galenzo Martins, who was then substituted after that incident. Yeah, but beautiful action ongoing here in the UEFA Champions League. LFC, how was your day? Have you recovered from your loss yesterday? Anything you noticed that you is worth speaking about from yesterday's game? I know for a fact we were on with Pedri last night, and we were making those predictions, and our prediction was 3-2 for Barcelona against PSG. But as minutes were on, it's still 1-1. We are headed for the 80th minute, and that second goal is yet to come from either side. So many yellow cards dished in this one. Has a bit of a high boot for Declan Rice. Was let in a challenge. Arsenal have been penalized before for time wasting. That yellow card was given to Gabriel Magalhaes, and they appear to be trying to do it again, which I never seem to understand. It's one that I never try to understand, especially, I mean, sometimes, especially if the game was in the 80th minute or so, I'll sort of understand, but that's not the case, you know. Or at the time when he got that booking, it wasn't the case. It wasn't the case. It wasn't the case. But yeah, we soldier on, slowly by slowly. Oh, that midfield is empty. Arsenal are living dangerously. Living dangerously. See, and by the way, Arsenal not beaten up against Olympiacos. I think in their last 3 home fixtures, they've not beaten them in their last 3 home fixtures. You go back to 2020, 2021, Arsenal were beaten at home by a goal to nil. And then they went away and won that game by 3-1. That was in the UEFA Europa League for them to advance. And then when you go back to the 2019 2020 season, that's the season when Olympiacos beat up against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium by 2-1. You remember Aubameyang scoring the equalizer in that one, and then they stole it away at the death. While Arsenal had won the earlier fixture by a goal to nil. That was still in the UEFA Europa League, and then they were knocked out on away goals full. So it's a game that they just do not win at home. It's a game that they just struggle to win at home. There's never been a draw between the two sides in about 12 meetings. Both sides have won the tie at least 6 times, or on 6 different occasions. There's with the blind pass in a dangerous zone or dispossessed. Then when you rewind things back, you go to the UEFA Champions League group stages, and again, Olympiacos, this is the 2015 Olympiacos beat up against Arsenal by 3 goals to 2 at the Emirates, while Arsenal won away at Olympiacos by 3 goals to 0. So that's the kind of game that you're witnessing. The last time Arsenal beat up Olympiacos at home, that was in 2011. Arsenal beat Olympiacos by 2 goals to 1 at home, and they lost away by 3 goals to 1 in the UEFA Champions League. So you can see that it's not a full gone contest. Oh, how did they miss from that? Martin Odegaard. Jesus Christ, what a brilliant save from the Olympiacos goalkeeper. Arsenal have had so many opportunities to double their lead, but they haven't taken them. Jesus Christ. What an opportunity they had there. Excuse me. Like I said, the second half has been largely quiet. Jesus Christ, what's Saka thinking? Lucas heads him the ball and it just goes between his legs. Excuse me. Napoli are 2-1 up against Sporting CP, while Villarreal are 2-1 behind against Juventus. Bayer Leverkusen and PSV Eindhoven, that was still 1-1. Borussia Dortmund lead by 3 goals to 1 against Athletic Bilbao. Remember, Bilbao is the same side that Arsenal managed to beat in the opening game by 2 goals to 0 at San Mamés. So then Qarabag managed to beat up against Copenhagen by 2 goals to 0, and Qarabag, that's 2-2. Remember, the first game they beat up against Benfica by 3 goals to 2, which culminated into the sacking of Bruno Lage. A bit rare call to action. Barcelona PSG is still 1-1. It's still 1-1. Just have that irritating blockage in my throat. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's a brilliant header. Arsenal will be up against West Ham over the weekend, before the international break, before we go into the October international break. Liverpool will be up against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Man United will be at home against Sunderland. That's in the upcoming fixtures from the Premier League on March the 7th. So yeah, all that action will be coming our way over the weekend. Oh, beautiful pass. Not much has changed, besides the yellow card for Akraf Hakimi that came in the 87th minute. I don't know, for some reason, Arsenal have let in so many crosses inside their box. Evangelos Marinakis in the stands, director's box, watching. Dortmund have scored the fourth. Oh, Kanare Chukwuemeka, one of the goal scorers. Dirisa, the other. There's a potential penalty check in the Arsenal game. I don't know how, but I do not see one. I don't see one. No way. That was so ambiguous for VR to be investigating. Julian Bandit, I mean, continues to be a mainstay in that Borussia Dortmund squad, and he has gotten himself a goal on the night. Dirisa, Kanare Chukwuemeka, and Julian Bandit. We have entered the stoppage time zone, and yeah. Oh, Monaco have an equalizer against Manchester City. So it's 2-2. AC Monaco and Manchester City, that's 2 apiece. Oh, and it's looks like the goal has been ruled out. Looks like the goal has been ruled out. Not yet. What? I don't know if it's being investigated. Meanwhile, Arsenal living dangerously. It's a nail-biting affair. Excuse me. Apologies on that. Okay. Oh, that's offside. Absolutely. PSG had separated themselves in the tie, but that goal was offside. So it's at least it does appear to be offside. Goncalo Ramos. Oh, looks like the goal will stand. PSG goal stands. It's 2-1. PSG 2-1. Thanks to Goncalo Ramos. Manchester City Eric Dyer scored a penalty in the 90th minute, and it's 2-2. Oh, beautiful ball to find Bukayo Saka. Always going to be struggling on his weaker foot. And it's 2 for Arsenal. Bukayo Saka seals the game. Down the left wing, he seals it for the Arsenal. 2-0. Eric Dyer scored a brilliant penalty, by the way. Brilliant penalty against Manchester City. And it's 2-2. Goncalo Ramos wasn't offside. Gabriel Martin Odegaard providing the assist. Beautiful interplay. Striking that ball through the legs of the goalkeeper, and Arsenal cruise to victory. Now they have one task: is to keep a clean sheet. Oh, Villarreal have an equalizer against Juventus, so it's 2-2. That goal scored by Renato Viega, so it's 2-2 in that one as well. Napoli have beaten up against Sporting CP by 2-1. Rasmus Højlund with a brace in that game. Kevin De Bruyne with both assists, while Luis Suarez did score for Sporting CP. Borussia Dortmund have beaten up against Bilbao by 4-1. That game is finished. Bayer Leverkusen have shared the spoils with PSV Eindhoven 1-1, and PSG have beaten up against Barcelona by 2-1. That game is equally finished. Manchester City, Arsenal, and Juventus are the games that are still ongoing. Like I said, it's 2-2 between Monaco and Manchester City, just as well as between Villarreal and Juventus. I can see Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, Noni Madueke, Pierre Hincap all in the stands watching their side close to victory. I mean, doesn't that speak to Arsenal squad depth and the quality they have within the squad, bearing in mind that all those 4 players are in absentia? That's in terms of being in the matchless squad: Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, Noni Madueke, Hincap, and yet Arsenal are not complaining. They are not complaining. The game for Juventus has finished just as much as that of Manchester City. No, Man City is still ongoing, and we are done here for the game between Arsenal and Olympiacos. Arsenal 2, Olympiacos 0. Big night of football. Another clean sheet kept for Arsenal. They will be really proud of their performance. There's so many positives to take away from today's game, and just as much as there are some lessons for Mikel Arteta to learn if they are to continue playing the manner in which they did play tonight. I thought they gave away so many chances on the other end. Olympiacos weren't just clinical enough. But yeah, beautiful night. We will have a look at the table, what it means in terms of the standings. So many teams, as many as 6 teams, have so far been perfect in their opening, oh, really? This is not up to date. Come on. Unless Manchester City have scored. They would. Yes, 5 teams. Actually, 6 teams have been perfect in their opening, two fixtures, winning all two. That's Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, Inter Milan, Arsenal, and Qarabag. Arsenal is one of the team, is one of two teams that are yet to concede in the competition, and the other team is Inter Milan. Inter Milan, remember, they had a very, very decent record, defensive record last season. Still in the same competition, they were really, really, really good. I think they conceded what, only 2 goals in the at the group stage level. It's at the knockout round where they sort of conceded so many goals because they conceded against Barcelona. They conceded 6. When you wind back against Bayern Munich, I think they conceded 3. Against PSG and Hoven, they conceded only 1. So they had that very, very decent, goal scoring. Sorry, a defensive record against other opponents in the UEFA Champions League last season, and it looks like they are continuing that even under the charges of a new manager. That's Christian Chivu, who is in charge of Inter Milan. Excuse me. So yeah, beautiful night. Like I said, in my opinion, I thought the game for Manchester City has equally finished 2-2. In as far as those fixtures are concerned, I thought it was a very, very dominant performance from Arsenal. Victor Gyökeres should have scored, I think, on 2 occasions. Twice, on one occasion, the goalkeeper did well enough to save. On the other occasion, his shot or attempt went wide of the mark. But again, you can see that the statistics will tell you Arsenal had 5 shots on target, 6 off target, compared to Olympiacos' 3 on target and 2 off target. Blocked shots were 6 compared to 4. Overall possession was 61% compared to 39%. That's of Olympiacos. Olympiacos had more corner kicks, 5 compared to Arsenal's 3. Fouls committed were 14-17, and those kinds of things. So, but like I said, very, very dominant performance from Arsenal. Unfortunately for them, they got themselves 2 yellow cards. One very unnecessary, particularly that one of Gabriel Magalhaes. Olympiacos remained very, very disciplined while they committed a good number of fouls. They did not get in the referee's book, and not to say that they should have, but yeah, they remained overall very disciplined. Arsenal's dominancy in some cases, with so many chances they created, I think that about 2 chances that fell to Leandro Trossard and he did score. There's at the very start of the game, another opportunity that fell to Gabriel Martinelli. He headed that ball wide of the mark. Should have been hitting the target from that sort of position where he was, and unfortunately he did not. So for those of you that missed our morning broadcast, we did not do it, so you did not miss out on anything. I had some early morning work to get to, so that sort of kept me away from doing the broadcast, so I was unable to do it in that sense. So please, you did not miss out on anything in terms of more commentary, analysis, and everything in that regard. But yeah, just a recap of what the results have been. Just give me a second to have a recap of what the results have been as far as oh, that's horrible. Apologies on that one. Okay, here's a recap of the results in as far as match day 2 has concluded of the UEFA Champions League. Qarabag beat up against Copenhagen by 2-0 in the earlier fixture, while Newcastle put 4 past Union Saint-Cloud. Then FC Monaco forced Manchester City into a 2-2 draw, but Erling Haaland picking up a brace in that one, while Tez and Eric Dyer's penalty late on in the game were enough to secure a point for Monaco. Remember, Monaco are under the charges of a gentleman called Adi Hutter. or Adi Hunta or Hata, or whichever way it's pronounced. But I hope I'm pronouncing it the right way. And then, of course, Arsenal beat up against Olympiacos by 2-0. Gabriel Martinelli and Bukayo Saka on the score sheet. PSG beat up against Barcelona. Sene Mayuru and Goncalo Ramos coming off the bench to score at winning for PSG. Mayuru scored to cancel out Ferran Torres' lead for Barcelona. I don't know if Pedri would be joining us tonight, but it would have been really, really good for him to give us some insights on what he made of their performance overall. I thought like they lacked the cutting edge, if we are being honest. When you look at the statistics from the game, overall possession, I mean, PSG dominated possession 52% compared to Barcelona's 48%. You can see it's marginal, but yeah, they were dominant. PSG had 7 shots on target compared to Barcelona's 3 shots off target. Barcelona had 5 compared to PSG's 4. Shots blocked were 3 for Barcelona and 4 for PSG. So you can see that then corner kicks were 4-9. You can see that PSG were really, really dominant in that performance. In leading up to the goal that Ferran Torres scored, I think it was Vitinha who made the blind pass, then the ball was intercepted by Lamine Yamal before they went on to score. Anyways, then Bayer Leverkusen shared the spoils in a 1-1 draw against PSV Eindhoven, while Borussia Dortmund, like I told you, beat up against Athletic Bilbao by 4-1. Goes from Svensson, Kanari Chukwemeka, Gresa, and Jiran Brandis were enough, while Gruzeta was the goal scorer for what turned out to be a near consolation for Athletic Bilbao. Then Napoli beat up against Sporting CP, like I told you, Rasmus Hojlund scoring a brace in that one, with Kevin De Bruyne providing a brace of assists, while Juventus were equally forced into a 2-2 draw against Villarreal. So those were the performances from the UEFA Champions League. Tomorrow, European action continues in the UEFA Europa League as well as the UEFA Conference League. Teams like Crystal Palace will be in action, while the UEFA Champions League will return on the 21st of October. Excuse me. So the UEFA Champions League will return on the 21st of October. Barcelona will be up against Olympiacos. Kairati Almaty will be at home against Pafos. I think Arsenal will be at home against Atletico de Madrid. I don't know why they get to play 2 consecutive home games for Arsenal and Barcelona, but it is what it is, as well as Kairati Almaty. Yes, and then of course, I mean, that will be a huge game between Arsenal and Atletico de Madrid, a home fixture. Atletico Madrid have been really, really impressive. Yesterday, they won their game. Why am I forgetting who they beat up against? They did win their game. By very good margin, by the way, I must say. And then how Copenhagen, Paris Saint-Germain will be away to Bayer Leverkusen, while Copenhagen will take on Borussia Dortmund. Newcastle will be at home to Benfica. Will be at home against Benfica, while Napoli will be away to PSV Eindhoven. Inter will be away to Union Saint Gilloise, while Villarreal will be at home against Manchester City. Athletic Bilbao will take on Qarabag, while Galatasaray will take on Bordeaux Glimt. Monaco will take on Tottenham Hotspur. Those games, some of these games coming on the 22nd of October. Bayern Munich will be up against Praga. Atlanta will take on Slavia Praha. Chelsea will take on Ajax. And Frankfurt will be at home against Liverpool, while Real Madrid Juventus will also come on match day 3. So those are some big games that will be coming, as well as Sporting CP against Olympic Marseille. So you can see that match day 3 will have those gigantic games between Real Madrid Juventus, very, very big game. Arsenal Atletico de Madrid, very, very big game. Therefore, you not miss out. But like I said, tomorrow the action will be in the UEFA Europa League and the UEFA Conference League. Perhaps we will get to digest that tomorrow, but Roma against Lille will be some of the games that will be coming your way. Anyways, allow me to wrap it here and wish you a blessed night. Let's meet up again tomorrow. Bye bye for now. Good night.